on the season finale of Rick and Morty.
Mr. President?
Some kind of alien Googa has infested the Kennedy sex tunnels. I want it hunted down and taken out.
Kennedy sex tunnels?
Naturally, you'll forget you saw them. Along with, in order of national embarrassment, the Truman Cocaine Lounge, the McKinley Hooker Dump, and the Lincoln Slave Coliseum. He didn't free them all.
This seems like a good time for a drink and a cold, calculated speech with sinister overtones. But speeches are for campaigning. Now is the time for action.
Hey everybody, the Rick and Morty finale is tonight, and Dan Harmon supposedly confirmed there would be some Evil Morty things happening. He didn't say what would be happening.
Hey, can we talk Evil Morty?
Just wait until the end of the season, this Sunday at 11:30 p.m. on Adult Swim.
That Easter egg video will post Monday morning, so if you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get everything. But it just gives credence to the idea that the description is very tongue-in-cheek, and in that it's misleading you through omission. Like it just says, Rick has a confrontation with the president. So there have been a couple different presidents on Rick and Morty. The president of the Lane government, which he met during the Get Swifty episode, which we saw in the teaser, so Keith David's coming back. It'll be awesome. But Evil Morty is now the de facto president of the Citadel of Ricks, and we don't know what his action is going to be. Like he says, now is the time for action. It even says action, not words, in Latin on the board in the Morty school. So all those Ricks that we saw pushing around Mortys or yelling at them in the classrooms, they've all been taken out of positions of authority, and now a lot of the Mortys are wearing the same uniforms that Rick are. So it just seems like he's gearing up for some big power play. But it all goes back to the title, the Rick-Churian Morty date. The idea, if you haven't seen that movie, that someone's put in a position of power as a puppet so that they can turn over power to another person. So that doesn't necessarily mean that the Get Swifty president is being controlled somehow the way that the evil Rick was being controlled by Evil Morty way back during season 1. But it does imply that the Googas that they're hired to take care of in the Kennedy sex tunnels is sort of a misdirect for larger things that are in play, like something to get Rick out of the way. But if you've ever heard that quote, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist, that's sort of Evil Morty's charm, and that only the Council of Ricks knows what's going on. Like he killed half of them because they weren't on board with his regime. So unless they go blabbing to everybody at the companies or the organizations that they run, nobody knows that it's an evil Morty that's in charge of the Citadel. Rick still hates them, but there's this whole platform of equality that evil Morty was preaching. That's how he played the sides against each other. We need to work together, but really, he's using it to bump up Morty's stock as a power play to, I think, turn most Mortys against their Ricks. So think about what our Morty's arc has been this season. It seems like he's gotten smarter and smarter, taken more authority, especially because the parents have turned into South Park-style parents, and they're all acting like idiots, so the kids actually have to be the smart people.
Morty?
Don't Morty me! I tricked Rick into taking Dad on an adventure because I thought I could get a break from this kind of But no, like father, like damn daughter. You want to be like Rick? Congratulations! You're just as arrogant and just as irresponsible!
Ugh, God damn it. I don't get paid enough for this shit.
But wouldn't it be an amazing power play if Evil Morty were able to pull strings and orchestrate events to turn our Morty against our Rick? So this is C-137 Rick. We still don't know which version of Morty this is. And obviously, he already told Beth that you're not my Beth. So I know everybody's still wondering who Evil Morty's original Rick was, if he has any connection to our C-137 Rick. But I think based on all the evidence they presented, this Morty is just a Morty who remembers everything, all the terrible stuff that Rick has done, because the minute that our Morty got all his memories back, he was so upset that he drove right past killing Rick and wanted to kill himself. He's like, I just can't handle this. This is ridiculous. Everything is a lie. Peace, I'm out. That's even kind of the same type of speech that Rick gave to Beth when he advised her to just go off and paint a bow on the universe.
Am I evil?
Worse, you're smart. When you know nothing matters, the universe is yours. And I've never met a universe that was into it. The universe is basically an animal. It grazes on the ordinary. Creates infinite idiots just to eat them. Smart people get a chance to climb on top, take reality for a ride, but it'll never stop trying to throw you. And eventually it will. There's no other way off.
So that's a pretty powerful speech speaking to his philosophy about life in general. Like it's all relatively meaningless, and you keep trying to take reality for a ride, but eventually it throws you. So he's sort of prophesying his own demise, but it's also sort of a hat tip for evil Morty's eventual downfall too. He's also trying to take reality for a ride. Like there are a couple of people that rise to that level. Like in this moment, he's mostly speaking to Beth. Like she's risen to the level where she's realized the truth of the universe as Rick believes it. Go out there and do whatever the hell you want to do because it doesn't mean anything. For as long as you can always come back here. But at some point before we saw him way back during season 1, Evil Morty also came to this conclusion. So that's probably why Evil Morty is so quick to throw these other Mortys under the bus, is that it doesn't mean anything, but Rick is currently the de facto power in the universe, or the multiverse, depending on how you want to think about it. So the only real way to take him down is to help get Morty to turn against him. Like he needs everybody to turn against Rick. And I know we have Phoenix Person too. I included that clip briefly because if they're bringing Evil Morty back in the finale, then we might also get a hat tip for Phoenix Person and Tammy. Because as far as we know, they're not working with Evil Morty, or they're not being manipulated by Evil Morty. They're part of the Federation. Evil Morty is now controlling the Citadel. He could be trying to take over the remnants of the Federation as well. But just think about the whole theme from back in episode 7, where you had two sides, the Ricks and the Mortys, being played against each other, and Evil Morty trying to use that to his advantage. Previously, it was the Council of Ricks versus the Federation, so wouldn't it also be a big power play for Evil Morty to unite those two factions against our Rick? So that would be the back door for Phoenix Person to come back, because as far as we know, he's still being controlled by Tammy, so technically he's evil Darth Vader style. But we all know how Darth Vader's arc ended, and regardless of what Evil Morty does in the finale, he's just too big of a character and too interesting for them to completely deal with in this episode. So I think that whatever he does, he will spill into season 4. He's like a Zeep Zanthorpe character, just fantastic and a good foil for Rick. But obviously because Stephen Colbert is so busy in real life with the own television that he's making, he just doesn't have a lot of time to come back and voice that character again. So conflict makes for good drama, and these characters make for good conflict. So I would be very surprised if they don't make it to season 4. But let me know in the comments, do you think that Evil Morty is going to be just a post-credits tag and will have absolutely nothing to do with the main plot of the episode, or do you think that he's going to be orchestrating events from afar? Starting to talk a little bit about season 4 too, I just learned that the writers actually finished season 3 last October. Like literally last year, they finished writing all the scripts that we're watching right now, meaning that they have probably been working on season 4 for a lot longer than we realized. So what'll happen is after I post my finale video, at some point I will do a season 4 predictions video. I'll talk a little bit about where they are in production and depending on how fast they finish their scripts, when they can get episodes out, and sort of the characters that they've left out that they could bring back too. I know everybody wants to know where Squanchy is. There are a couple of big characters that they haven't officially brought back. They brought back Mr. Poopy Butthole, but in a roundabout way. They brought him back in a memory, they brought him back in a picture, so he's still alive out there somewhere, we just don't know where. But it's going to be awesome. There'll be a new round of the giveaway too. All you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video, and I'll still be doing that every week during the off-season. I'll explain the off-season bonus video schedule when I post that finale video. That'll be Monday morning. But while you wait for everything, you can click here for more Easter eggs, and you can click here for their finale interview and a little bit more about season 4. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.